Okay, so this is our front yard where we have converted a lawn into a permaculture garden. Permaculture, or what I like to call forest gardening, is a set of design principles based around sustainability and efficiency, whole systems planning. There's some evidence that the Amazon rainforest was originally set up in some areas as a forest garden. Anthropologists have found that areas that have a higher concentration of edible plants, like fig trees, for example, are also where there were once settlements, that those people were they were integrating their gardens with the forest in order to get more yield, and then rotating through different areas for making sure to get good nutrients for their gardens. So here is our annual garden area. I want to go into the first permaculture design idea called forest succession. And that's all about how nature is always trying to create a forest. Nature abhors an empty lot, which is why weeds grow. The first weeds that always grow in an empty lot are a certain kind that fix nutrients and create habitat for insects and animals. Those insects and animals then create more nutrients, bring those to the area, and that creates an ecosystem that's hospitable to woody plants, plants that have woody stems, not just weedy plants. And that's important because mushrooms need woody plants and trees to grow on, and mushrooms are where forest succession really starts to kick into high gear. Come with me this way and we'll look at the mulch. You might remember when we were in Montana, our tour guide talked about how trees can talk to each other underneath the ground. Well, all kinds of plants do that. And plants will actually talk to mushrooms, the mycorrhizal fungi under the ground, and ask them for what nutrients they want. You might know that mushrooms have networks under the ground that can go for miles. Well, the plants will feed those mushrooms cookies, little packets of carbs and nutrients that are specific to what that plant wants, what nutrient it wants. It's like a communication, like putting in an order. And then the mushrooms will go out throughout their possibly miles-long network, find those nutrients and concentrate them near the plant, and then the plant can uptake those and exchange them for the cookies that the plant promised the mushroom. So that's why we lay mulch here. I have new mulch that we're just laying, new tree trimmings from my friend who trims trees, over here on the right. And here on the left, I have old mulch. You can see in the old mulch, the white, oh, there's a good one. The white, kind of fuzzy looking bits are the mycorrhizal fungi that are spreading throughout the yard. We've been doing this for 3 or 4 years now, and so we have a really robust mushroom network under the ground. And that's not just for my annual beds over here, where I grow vegetables, but also for this area over here where the fruit trees and other plants grow. So let's take a tour of this, and then we'll talk about permaculture guilds. So come with me this way. Here's an example of some plants that we grow outside of the annual beds. I have hot weather spinach that grows right here on a stem. This one's really yummy. It's called Okinawa spinach. It's part of this guild that you can see over here. Now, a permaculture guild is a group of plants with different properties that work together. So here we have their layers. So from top to bottom, we have the canopy tree, which is this pine over here. Can you grab this? That big tall tree in the frame? And then that's one of the higher ones. And then below that we have fruit trees and this red bud. And then behind me over here, there are some other fruit trees. That's kind of the second layer down. Beneath that, we have shrubs like this blueberry, which fruits in June. And these guys down. And this is milkweed, which gets us some awesome monarchs in the fall. That's more of the herbaceous layer. And we also have flowers that grow in here more often in the summer. And then beneath that, the other layer in this guild is the soil surface. So we have over here some ground cover And right here. And beneath that is what we call the rhizosphere, which would include the mushrooms, but we don't eat those. We have sweet potatoes that are under my feet right now. They're everywhere. They grow as a ground cover, kind of living mulch with big heart-shaped leaves. Oh, and there's our orange tree. And this is a good example of a nitrogen-fixing plant. This is cassia. It's related to cinnamon, and it's just at the end of its gorgeous flowering. Our sweet potatoes are over here. You can see I've dug some up. And we do this all winter. We dig up sweet potatoes all winter. And they're part of the lowest layer, the rhizosphere, in this guild that's beneath this big tree. So another feature, another permaculture principle is using resources passively. So in this case, you might not be able to see it, but we have a big slope coming straight down this property. And so there's a swale dug right here. And then where these trees are is a berm. So the swale is a small depression and the berm is a small hill. So the water is caught in the swale and then filters out and feeds into the berm where all these trees grow. Another example of using the processes that are already here passively is over here. That's our hot tropical area. So you've seen one guild. Oh, there's another sweet potato. You've seen one guild over there, and we have an entirely different kind of guild here with different plants. So we have these tall trees. These are palms, and beneath them, in this tropical area, we have blue taro, which is a relative of the Hawaiian taro, sugarcane, avocados, bananas. We actually grew bananas last year. And then beneath that, probably hundreds of pounds of sweet potatoes. And those grow here, but not over there, because the black asphalt creates a lot of heat, or traps a lot of heat. And so this area, we can create a tropical guild. So using the heat passively and the water passively, and then also the action of the mycorrhizal fungi helps us work in harmony with nature. So this is a book called Second Nature by Michael Pollan, an amazing book. He's specifically talking about Thoreau and his descendants, his literary descendants, when he says Americans have a deeply ingrained habit of seeing nature and culture as irreconcilably opposed. We automatically assume that whenever one gains, the other must lose. So land is either nature's or ours. Nature's and pristine, or ours and used and defiled. But I think there's a middle way. I think the forest garden reminds us that we belong.